I've had a very long 72 hours. Don't do that to me. Okay. I feel like a lot of women, in general, I've done a survey myself. I've asked a lot of people, not just women though. I've asked
Good morning.
Would you talk to somebody that you don't find attractive?
No.
And a lot of people say that they would. But personally, I don't know. I just can't see it. I don't understand it. Why would you talk to somebody that you don't find attractive? It doesn't make sense. But I can understand, the personality. But I mean, like, are you gonna approach somebody that you don't find attractive?
I mean, you can like people for other than their sex video, so I can gain an understanding. So no one can question Black women. No. And baby, it's blended, okay? And in the back. You let's not make the Kardashians our idol or our savior, because they're not.
I don't want Black women to act like white women. I don't want Black women to act like any other women. Therefore, I don't need any other women telling Black women how to behave. Black women are clearly the standard, because why is everybody trying to target them and point the finger and saying, hey, we're better than them. You don't compare yourself to people who are at the bottom of the barrel.
Right. What?
White kids and a mother are charged with drowning a Black 8-year-old. Put it in full mass. One of the saddest stories you will hear. Natalie Hardison, mother. Something you tend to work harder for is what I'm saying, right? That's all that I'm basically getting to the premise of, right? Because here's the thing, right? If I build myself up, right, to try to be the best man,
no education,
so I can get the best woman, right? You get what I mean? And I'm doing that because in order for me to do that, I want the best woman, right? Whether I want the best woman, and I need the best woman too as well.
Wow,
so this is why I would do those things, right? So it's nothing wrong.
Sometimes I think about how a lot of Black Americans can low-key be colonizers. You know how a lot of Americans like to be in the spotlight? They always want to be at the center of the story. A lot of Black Americans are actually like that when it comes to African stories. They're not interested in Africa unless they're at the center of it. Good example is Woman King. There's also Black Panther, which had the backdrop of Africa, but they didn't even have a premiere event in at least 10 African countries.
You know, for a group of people who consistently complain about Black Americans being the center of everything and always wanting to be in the spotlight, you guys sure do like making us into that. I mean, oftentimes we don't even want to be in y'all mouth, but somehow we always end up there.
You don't want to be in anybody.
And I don't know where this lady is from. I'm assuming based off of just pure accent. She sounds like she's probably South African, so I don't know if this has something to do with Tyla. It seems like every conversation that is about Black Americans.
She actually sounds like she's a Sulani. Okay, let me tell y'all why I started off the video flipping through TikTok, right? I wanted to show and prove to Black women that you really do run the whole trend. You are the most important thing on social media. This is how people make their money. This is how people pay their bills. This is how people exist. And you, who is actually the boss of all these people, all of these things, even the social media platform, you have the audacity, the ability, the empowerment, the entitlement, the absolute right to fire all these motherfuckers. What I mean is, if you know,
Sometimes I think about
every single one of these people are so worried about what you and I are doing, yet none of them, good morning, none of them, right, can stand or hold a candle next to you. None of them have the amount of degrees we have. None of them have the work ethic or the work longevity. None of them have the personal insight where we have resiliency. And we have this I'm just not going to give up type of thing about us, that as women, and we're supposed to always be the worst thing in the black community. We have this, but these so-called males that want to be men, they don't have any ounce of the things that black women are made out of. And I think primarily that may be most of the reason why they want to be women these days. But today I want to talk about a couple of things that have been really getting on my fucking nerves. And I'm going to call them off and try to keep all of the things I talk about segmented to that. But the first thing is the preference to victim pipeline, right? And then the young mother of the bum to black femicide pipeline. And then I want to talk about all these different panels that always pop up on TikTok that are always trying to blame black women for things like young girls dating, being with, and having children for older men, and how the focus is always on black women and girls, but never on these absolute grown ass fucking black males who know better and who are adults and who definitely should be arrested for statutory rape. Good morning, let's talk about it. How are you? So, and the third one is how all of a sudden you see this reoccurring situation of, or this trend that they trying to have take on with these younger women always trying to come at older women about competing with them, not being good grandmothers, um, wanting BBLs. What else was this idiot chick talking about? And trying to compete with them for men. Um, I think I'm gonna take that topic first because that's the one that irritates me the most. Okay, so this morning, let me try to go get it right. I want to get this video, and before I start, credit to all of the videos I use from the different um, creators, because I don't want nobody. Well, I don't give a fuck if they flag or not. It doesn't matter to me. As long as the people see it, who are the people that come see me see it, that's all I care about. So it's pretty black magic, right? And she finds a lot of these things, but my thing is, I just want young black women to understand. Let me just see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Hold on. I want to see the girl's face. Where is it? All right. I'm going to have to go on the page and pick it up. All right, hold on. Oh, there she is. Okay. So here's the thing, right? So TikTok is mostly pushing this trend because you got to understand the differences between the platforms, right? So TikTok is a thing where millions of people see your message. They they get a glimpse of what it is you portray, or basically they get a profile of you, right? So this is why it's mostly done on TikTok, because all of these people out here that are trying to pretty much kill black women's image and try to maintain us as the villain of the world. They do all of this to take away from the realities of things that are really going on with black males and keep the illusion alive, right? So this young woman was talking about older women having BBLs and wanting to be in the club, and all of this, stems from that woman on TikTok in a green dress talking about how sorry, my paper fell. How a lot of women these days, when they go to the clubs, don't dress up, don't wear heels or whatever, right? Now, that's her frame of reference, and granted, I'm not crazy. I know that when she made that statement, she was coming at young women in a way through some type of her individual level of competition, because the majority of us older women, I have 4 daughters, okay? 4. And they're all in their late 20s, early 30s, right? I have one daughter that you guys would consider to be a little overweight, but to me, I think she is the most beautiful thing in the world because she's my daughter, right? Hi, Catherine. So, and then the other ones, they're like, I guess like me, small build but thick, like small petite, whatever you want to call us. Like, we're not real wide women, but we have a lot of meat on our bodies, and we're very strong, right? So I guess slim, thick, whatever you guys call that terminology. But the thing is, right, all of my girls are beautiful from the way they think, from the way they look, the way that they're strong and tough like their mom, and they don't take no shit from nobody, right? And they don't whine and fucking cry like I see these young girls doing on TikTok, where they more interested in having fucking swoop sideburns and edges and shit like that, instead of worrying about having money in their account, so that if they want to go somewhere, they do like my daughters, get a fucking babysitter. But only one of my girls has kids, right? So the others, they travel and live this world the way they want, on their terms. And I have been telling them, personally, black women, I think you should start doing the same thing. And I literally started doing this with my girls because of their fathers, right? And even though their fathers were not 100% black males, they were half breeds, they were still just as fucked up as every other black male. You hear me? Because they each had black fathers, which is what fucked them up. So I would tell my girls, do you see how your father treats me? You see how he's so disrespectful? He's nasty, but yet he has all of this respect and admiration for one father's mom was Indian, and it's just like one was full Indian, the other one was like Indian and black, that type of thing from Jamaica, right? So whatever you call them, Douglas Cooley, I don't even give a fuck, but I couldn't stand none of them, right? So I would show my girls this. And then I would show my girls my grandfather, because my father was dead by now, right? How my grandfather was the way black men really are supposed to be. A man that worked all his life, took care of every black woman in his family, even his mother until she passed away, right? Um, didn't have nothing but a fucking elementary school education, but this man managed to own homes, have land, have businesses, and help other black men in my neighborhood, which was Queens Village, New York, get other businesses in the neighborhood. He had affiliations with politics and etc. This is what a real black man is supposed to do. He would never be on any TikTok, YouTube, or anything denigrating, dehumanizing black women or insulting black women in any way, because he would have too much respect for his mother, himself, and how he's supposed to carry himself as an example of the lineage of that black woman. So I was showing my girls this, right? They learn quick, because here in New York City, whenever we went to Louisiana as well, you could literally walk through the streets, and anywhere you go where there's a group of people and there were black people, it would never fucking fail that it would be some black male disrespecting a black woman or little girl. Okay? So when that would happen, even though I wouldn't be all obvious, I would pull my girls and say, you see what I mean? And basically like convincing them and indoctrinating them from childhood all the way to an adult. You stay away from those type of men because they are no good for you. All they want to do is disrespect you, hurt you, and make sure that you have nothing in life the same way they don't. That training worked, and today, I can tell you proudly that my daughter, who actually is married, she's married to a Turkish man with 5 children. They just moved recently from New York to Texas. I didn't want her to go to Texas because Texas is disgusting. It's a Republican state, right? But I guess like they just got there like 2 days ago. So we'll see how it works out for them. But my thing is, I would never move nowhere to a state where there's a whole bunch of racist white people walking around with guns all day. I would never do that. That's me. So anyway, and then all the other problems, like the other day they had problems with their electricity, Wi-Fi. I'm used to New York. I'm not used to none of that southern stuff, so I would never move nowhere like that. That's just me, and that's a personal thing. Don't take no offense, but I like convenience, and I don't like bullshit with white people because I don't deal with that shit here in New York City. So I would never move nowhere where I got to deal with that dumb shit every day because I would end up on death row. I really would. So anyway, when you have all these women online, TikTok and etc., right? That I'm sorry for you, slime. Since you live there, I'm sorry you live there. This is shit. That's a fucked up state. In all reality, historically, for Black people, it has never been a good state. Never, never. From slavery till now, actually, fuck slavery. From the from the creation of that shit, it has never been good. But getting back to what I was talking about. So with this video, I want to show y'all that where this she got it off of TikTok where this girl is trying to come at Black women. The point I want to make is the reason a lot of older women are now doing things like getting BBLs or doing body improvements, going out and doing this, whatever they're doing personally, is because we've raised our children. All our children are grown. And that narrative that is pushed by a lot of people that come from dysfunctional homes where they try to say they were always left on their grandparents or whatever, their mother and father didn't raise them, that is their particular story. There are tons of Black people all over this country that do not live like that, and the majority of us do not live like that. And so I was raised by my parents until I was adopted by my grandparents, not because they weren't able to take care of us, because even though they were junkies, they were functional. It was the fact that children shouldn't be around drug use or alcohol use when it's harmful to the person doing it, right? So we were raised well by our parents. And for the most part, the majority of Black people are raised well by their people and their families. This narrative that had been created after, I would say, 1940, after the Black bourgeoisie class decided to stop fighting for social justice reform. And this fight goes back to W.E.D. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. W.E.D. Du Bois was part of the Black bourgeoisie. He believed in Black excellence and the talented 10th, believing that only 10% of Black people would ever rise to be like millionaires, moguls, great scientists, presidents, etc. And if you go by the Black people that's alive today and the culture of 2024, he would be right. But prior to this whole like regression of Black people in the last, I guess, like 4 years because of COVID, before that, Black people were actually doing much better than they are now. I think that period of isolation really did something to people's minds where they're just like as savage and regressive as they can be. And before that, people were very much on their business. They were into education. They were into self-development, right? And getting somewhere in life. So after those rich, bougie Black people decided we don't give a fuck about the collective of Black people no more, that was the rise of using the portrayal of the very dysfunctional, drug addicted, dudes going to jail, Black men selling Black women in the street. Because the history of prostitution in America starts actually in Chicago and Detroit. Detroit was first because of the whole automation, the beginning of automation with the factories in Detroit. That was the start of it. It started in Detroit. It moved over to Chicago, and then it filtered through the major cities in the west all the way to the northeast, and then traveled back down south. And they did that because in that way of route, because of the amount of people in the city, right? So that is the history of why all of a sudden, whenever Black people are depicted in America, or these ignorant Black males on social media want to always portray Black women in a bad light, they use those characters because there are no longer any more social or political parties out there that are pushing positive images towards or about Black people because it's not lucrative. It don't make money for them anymore. When the Black bourgeoisie were doing this, you had people that had associations in every black person's society to make black people upwardly mobile and make money and be good, upstanding citizens. They had organizations called Jack and Jill. They had quite a number of other organizations I can't remember right now. They had cotillions, etc., to put black people on the same playing field and level as whites, right? When people understood that that wasn't profitable anymore, it stopped. And so that's when you get the creation of people like the Sexy Reds and etc. And they try to make those low class black people become the face of all black people. And that's what's happening with YouTube. And this is why I'm saying to black women, since you have the power to maintain this shit, stop it, kill it dead in its tracks, or turn it 360 degrees around, you need to do that. Because whenever you have these young black women coming on here already, not understanding themselves by making these comments, or maybe they do. Because a lot of these black women that come on here and make these comments about other women, they're basically ops for these poor, impoverished black males that can't get their shit together. And they are basically overly male identified, right? And they're on here trying to be the overseer to whip other black women back in line to take care of dudes that black women like me and others don't want shit to do with. We want all black women to separate themselves from these people so that black women can live good lives, have money, have a decent household, live in upwardly mobile neighborhoods, travel, have abundant money in their bank account, and not be subject to black femicide, domestic violence, their little girls being sexually assaulted by grown ass men who know better but don't care, and all types of other deviancies that happen in black communities that don't need to if black women didn't participate in dealing with black males. All of the things that happen to us and hurt us is because you are associating yourself and aligning yourself with these black males. When black women live on their own with their children, you don't have these incident levels the way that they are when you include them. So when this woman is saying this and she's talking about how women feel about themselves, women are supposed to feel beautiful. We are beautiful. And when older women get older, and if there is something on their body they want to fix, like she keeps referring to BBLs, and we know why she's doing that. She's referring to that because in her mind, she's worrying about older women and dealing with black males that they're not interested in, because that's what she cares about, right? So that's why when people use the words they use, you have to think about the background of it. But that's where she's coming from. Unfortunately, she's convinced herself that she's not worth anything. But besides being beat, battered, and bruised by somebody just to be in a relationship and to say, I got somebody like other women do. When you're supposed to know you're worth much more than that. And that shouldn't validate you or make you feel like you've accomplished something, because in the long term of events of you being in that relationship, you're never going to be prosperous. We already know this because no matter where you look at the stats, even if it's that fake website of black demographics versus any of them other ones, right, that Cynthia G and the rest of them will call out, the thing is, you lose money when you deal with them. Your net worth drops seriously because we know they're not educated. We know they're never fully employed. Just look at how many of them spend every day and night on YouTube. You really think that you are a responsible individual taking care of your household, your family, your people, and yourself by going to work if you got all this time to be wasting doing hours long lives and panels? No. And the reason they do those panels is to keep convincing black women that we need them when we don't. You have no idea the amount of comments I get after I do lives or make videos trying to explain and promote and encourage black women to be by yourself or be with some other type of dude once you feel absolutely comfortable with them and leave the black male alone. They come on here going crazy, talking about how I'm wrong. That's why young women shouldn't listen to us. No, young women should listen to me. Because if they listened to me, they wouldn't be 19 with 4 kids or 13 with 2 kids, getting beat at home, feeling like they ain't worth shit because somebody putting their feet and hands all over them and telling them that they will never be something. They wouldn't be trafficked all over the country and forced to go out on the sidewalk and suck dick and fuck strangers for a living. No, if they did listen to us, they would be in somebody's college somewhere, some university. They would stay away from these dudes their entire life until they already got out of life what they needed. That, whether it's a full-time career or a very high-paying job. Once you go work for what you want and obtain it and settle yourself comfortably into life, then you could fuck around and make mistakes, because now you got the money to take care and deal with those mistakes if you make them. So let me stop talking because I want to show y'all what she said. Now, Pretty Black, she came at her from a different angle because I guess she was insulted, but she also explained that a lot of black women do those things when they're older because when we were younger, a lot of the medical advancements they have today, they didn't have back then. So all we had was like a tummy tuck, right? So, and this is a fact, and women know this. Not every woman can have a child and her body like jump right back or not be subject to any type of like physical change. Like some women, if they have one baby, and it don't matter what size they are, their stomach muscles are totally destroyed. And their stomach literally looks like a bunch of like squeezed, loose skin just sitting somewhere. That's not her fault. Her body reacted like that. That's part of her genetics. But if she decides to go and have a tummy tuck or whatever it is to get her stomach back flat, nice, and beautiful, she has every fucking right, because that is her body. And whatever she needs to do to make herself feel attractive and feel good for herself, fuck anybody else, right? Because they always try to make it seem like we do things for them. I wake up every morning and they are never on my mind, nor do I give a fuck about them when I pass them in the street. Like right now, as I'm talking to you, there's one sitting diagonally across from me at the picnic table staring at me, so concerned about what I'm doing, while his girlfriend is sitting right over there under the tree, sunning. Like, why the fuck are you worrying about me? This is the power you need to understand, black women. And when you learn to yield that shit, we could turn this world around for people to literally be bowing down to us, because all you got to do is understand your time, energy, and pure existence is money in this country. So the same way you sitting here talking to me right now or listening to me talk to you, you are killing it by making YouTube money. Every partner that YouTube has outside of the creators that make this thing happen, we're sitting here right now making these people tons of money. And because everybody's always on here talking about us, God forbid the day we ever get enough sense to strategize, organize, and say, we will leave YouTube for one whole week the same way the TikTokers did. You will crash this motherfucking system. And you will literally make YouTube stand up and take notice to your demands, which is what I wish black women would do today. Like, just pick a date on the calendar and have a start date for not being on YouTube for one whole week and really commit to that shit. And then turn that shit on a week later and watch and see all the channels where the numbers have dropped significantly, the changes that YouTube would literally make to its community guidelines and etc. because their cash cow decided to stop grazing on that grass and go to the next farmer's house. I'm telling you, that is the power you have. And the other thing is, when you, like I want you to do, and this is going to be the premise of a lot of my videos to come, I want us to take the internet back. I want us to stop allowing these people to run our reputation and our womanhood into the ground. And we have the ability and the power to do that. We do. It's two ways of doing it. The first one would be the complete boycott. That would kill everybody at one time, including YouTube. The second would be to start slowly, gradually, but completely unsubscribing and stop viewing all people, white, black women, black males who disrespect and tarnish black women's names collectively. Y'all see how you got all these new people? It's this dark skinned woman on here where she really looks like Squidward. Always, it's funny because when I first seen her nose, right, made me think of Squidward, from SpongeBob. And it was funny how Pretty Black Magic had said the same thing. She was like, she called the handsome Squidward. That shit was funny to me because she literally does look like the cartoon character, right? So she's the main one. She was the one leading the pack with the German lady talking about how black women are no competition. She was out here setting the charge for that conversation. So those women, the Anton Daniels, the red pill, manosphere, whatever these people are, because I don't care about their terminologies, right? They're all ignorant. Whenever these people are out here, the way you deal with them for us to take over the internet again is to flag these people's channels down, unsubscribe, don't view. Don't fall don't fall to the clickbait and the rage bait because they're going to do that because they know we are emotional and they know anybody who is attacked will fight back. But we have to fight back smarter. And then the last thing, which would kill all of them, is no more cash apps. No more paying into conversations because you know how sometimes you on somebody's channel and they have a conversation or whatever, and then when you go to make a comment, a box pops up where they actually ask you for money to make a comment. Don't do none of that no more. I don't care how much it's killing you to say something. Write it on a piece of paper next to what you're watching, just to get it out your system. But don't give them no more money. No more money. Why are we paying people to insult us, watching their videos for them to insult us collectively as one group of people and try to shit on us in front of the whole world? But then, in the next breath, want you to be the person they stay with, giving them free sex, giving them access to your bank account, your car, all the fun and liveliness of your life. Why would we do that? Why would we continue to do that? No. So those are the three ways that we could completely take over and take back this internet. And then when we come back out, no more of the same videos that we are constantly doing. Show black women thriving. Show black women graduating from school, working whatever job it is that allows you to pay your bills, get the nice apartment you're in, or even the moderate apartment you're in, or the nice house you built, traveling, how you as a good mother take care of your kids and what you do with your kids. You can literally mind fuck this whole thing 360 just by showing the world who we really fucking are and not who these people are out here constantly trying to beat us down to be because it benefits them to disrespect us. And when we don't fight back, we get hurt twice fold because when we walk out into this world, people believe the stereotypes on here about us. And so they begin to treat us accordingly. So unless you want that to stop, and you should want that to stop, you have to push back against it in the opposite direction. So let's hear this and see this, and then we'll keep going. Okay? I have to put it this way so I can make sure I see y'all seeing it. All right, here we go.
You guys are competing for the same men. You guys are competing to run and go get the same look, the same BBLs. You would be surprised how many 50 and 60-year-olds I have seen go run and get BBLs. You guys are competing to see who gets to the club the fastest. It's like instead of the older women imparting knowledge and wisdom on the younger generation, you guys are competing with them. They just hit their adulthood. They just hit their womanhood, and you guys are competing with them instead of giving them the wisdom and the knowledge that they need, because these young girls, they need guidance. And this is what we face with. We face with the grandmoms being the new thoughts now. Listen, the grandmas don't even want to watch the grandchildren no more. They want to go down to the club. Like, seriously. This is what we're faced with. Can we have the women of the generation to stand up again and to impart wisdom and knowledge on the youth?
All right, let me tell y'all something. Number one, let me see what y'all said first. Let me take a look here. Hold on. But y'all already know I've been on 2 channels now trying to impart wisdom, but nobody wants to hear it. What'd you say? I never watched Priscilla. I'm glad you didn't, Slime. Never do. She's a stupid bitch. And she's a fucking black male worshiper pretending to be pro woman when she's not. And she's one of those black women that don't really care about black women per se and will actually be strong enough and bold enough to say, like me, I'm only here for black women. I don't give a fuck what other women do. Their plot in life or their lot in life don't got shit to do with me. I'm here because I'm concerned about black women that look like me, my daughters, granddaughters, etc., your daughters. They ain't gonna say that because they want to play the inclusivity game so that they can make more money because their real purpose on here is only about making money. Unlike people like me, my channel is about to get deleted. It has never been monetized except for once when I first started, and that was like 2 or almost 3 months, and then my shit was stripped because of me speaking and cussing and being as real as I am. I don't change my personality. This is really who I am, right? So this woman, when she was talking, she's talking about how we should be here to guide y'all, give y'all information. They don't listen. How many times have you had people on here who have been kicked off YouTube, ran off, bullied, doxxed, etc., trying to tell black women it's real fucking simple. It ain't rocket science. Stay your ass in the house while you're young. Not literally, of course, but stay in the house in terms of meaning stop playing grown, stop playing house with motherfuckers. You don't need to be having sex, you don't need to be in a relationship. You need to be in your books. You need to be developing your person, whether that is through ballet, dance, martial arts, poetry, music, dance, whatever it is you personally like. Develop your person. Email, chat with admission counselors to colleges. Get your ass into a profession or career where you are never impoverished. You're never in the position where you lack need and you don't have no ample amount of people in your surroundings to go get it from. But nobody listens to that. They think that when older women tell them, leave them niggas alone, they ain't no good, you're going to be fucking sorry, you go out there and do it anyway because you think somebody's trying to kill your joy. When we tell you 50 is not old, 60 ain't old. Now, when you start pushing 70 something, 80 something, yes, that's old because your body goes through a different level of transformation. It goes through a different level of maturation and homeostasis, meaning the same amount of hormones and stuff I have today, I will not have at 70 and 80 in order to produce different levels of hormones in my body, to make my muscles strong, to make my joints very flexible and limber. Everything ain't about being able to give birth to children because all women can give birth to children regardless of what age they are as long as they still ovulate. That thing that I've been trying to get y'all to understand or like really get is that thing about the biological clock is not true. It was created by white men who like to fuck little girls. Be clear on that, right? So you could be 60. I've never seen a woman 80 have a baby, but they have. But then again, I don't know everything in the world. But as long as you still ovulate, and women know, because I've said this 1,000 times, and you can check it out medically, it's true. You can still ovulate pre-menopause, during menopause, and post-menopause. Just because you don't have a period does not mean you cannot get pregnant. And this is why it's important for women to know everything about women and stop listening to ignorant, uninformed black males and males, period. Because their whole agenda is to fuck little girls. And when older women try to tell you stay away from them, because the thing this young girl is not understanding is that You have been given many examples in your lifetime to look at other women in your community, in your family, or even in life in general. History has shown you that when you start dealing with dudes when you're young, you literally kill the rest of your life. You have no life. And internet example. Y'all remember that young girl that was like 18, married that 60 something year old fucking old dude where her mom was the crackhead and shit? And this nigga was fucking the mother and grooming and dealing with a minor. I think she had her first child when she was like 16 or some shit like that. I know y'all know who she is. I don't remember her name, but she was on internet recently talking about how her marriage had broken up, and now she got, it looked like 3 kids. I'm not sure because I don't know her business, but it was 3 children around her, right? So now she has children for this dude that she didn't have before. She's not even 23 years old yet. She looks terrible. Her mentality is completely fucked up. She has never gone back to school to get an education, so therefore she's unemployable and will be stuck in poverty. What was she doing recently? Putting up a goddamn GoFundMe so that people in general could help her with her situation. Not improve herself, but just help her with material things. So the majority of the women that I saw commenting on the post was like, "We ain't giving you no money." Now, regardless of my opinion of it or not, I would not give her money either, but not because I'm trying to be mean or malicious, but because I see that she has not learned anything. She's still on the same bullshit this girl was on, with thinking that somebody is trying to compete with her, and she's still worrying about fighting other women for a fucking bum. This man is literally old enough to be your fucking grandfather and possibly great grandfather, and you are out here trying to fight other women, young as you or younger, over a man that should literally be under the jail for statutory rape. And this is not about black women and mothers, because me personally, being a mother of 4 daughters, I can tell you, even with my oldest daughter who's married to the Turkish dude, I literally told her when I met him, and just being a woman who's been around men and lived life long enough, I told her, he's not a good thing for you. As much as you may think it, and as much as he will sit there in misery and not want to leave because he doesn't want to be financially responsible for you and your children and live his own life, he will sit there and deal with all of this until the children are grown, just because it's more beneficial for him to stay there than for him to leave. I said, I've seen tons of dudes like him in the past, and I was absolutely right. And as much as everybody in my family was like, "Oh, you just being like that because he's not black," I said, "No, he's a fucking bum." And I could see it through him. I said, do not remember that both my husband's mothers, one was a full blown Indian and the other one was half Indian. They was not black women, and I had to deal with their Indian families. I know a fucking racist bum ass person when I see one. All right. To this day, even though the dude takes care of the children and her, is my daughter happy? Fuck no. Is she often running around with other dudes? Yes. Does this nigga have a fucking phone full of black women that he's cheating on her with? Absolutely. Has he been doing this since the third child was born? Yeah. Have I told my daughter countless times, you deserve and can do better than this shit right here? But because she feels like that is better than dealing with any type of black dude, which she is right, I still would not deal with none of that. Me personally. And if you don't think that there's not a lot of black women out here living the same way, you're crazy. And this is why when black women tell young girls, leave all these niggas alone, take care and handle your own business so that you're good in life and you don't have to depend on them, nobody fucking listens. And then to add insult to injury, she's talking about how people don't want to help her after she's gone out and fucked up her own life by having children she probably can't afford, and clearly from what she's saying, she can't take care of solely. And yeah, I know everybody needs a break when they have children, because I used to pay babysitters to give me a break too. You hear what I said, right? I paid babysitters. I never asked my mother, Ma, watch the kids, da 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 da, or my grandmother, because my grandmother literally told me, and I made a video about this. She's like, you had those kids, you're going to take care of them. I will see them every now and then when they come to visit, or I will help watch them for you if you're having a baby so you can recover. But like to watch them so you could go fuck a man, go clubbing, go have a good time drinking and playing around, fuck no, I'm not doing that. And she literally told me that to my face. And she was not fucking around and she meant it. So what did I do? I wasn't like y'all or like these girls, not y'all per se listening to me, just y'all in general, right? Or this woman right here. I understood. All right, fuck it. She don't want to watch the kids because they're not her kids. I had them, and she's right. I am responsible for them, and so is the man I had them by. Because what black women tend to do a lot is, you notice how she always said grandmother. The reason she has to say grandmother is because the majority of us grandfathers ain't doing shit for us fathers or any other male in your family, and we know that as a fucking given. So to keep trying to abuse black women because people are trying to make it seem like we only live this life to serve everybody else, like we're the fucking mule of the world, we're not. And when older women get tired, because this is another thing she's not thinking about. Me, I'm going to be close to 60 in a few years, right? Already I have to take like Geritol for extra energy after I finish doing yoga. I finish doing fighting. I finish exercising, weight training, running. Do you hear all the shit I'm doing? Right? You have to do those things to keep your body in shape, not just to keep your body tone fit so you ain't out here looking crazy. But I have a heart that I have to take care of that I want to beat for a very long fucking time. So all these things that I do personally for myself is not just because I want to be pretty for some motherfucker. I could care less about that. I want my shit to be pumping and letting the blood flow through it correctly so I don't have no cholesterol buildup, no clogged arteries, and that if I need to run real quick for whatever reason or just jog, I could do it without having a massive fucking heart attack. These are the things that nobody's really thinking about. And as black women get older, we know as black women, because I'm one of them, some of us have different ailments. A lot of black women have autoimmune diseases like lupus. What are some of the other ones? RA. It's so many of them. Psoriasis. It's so many, right? They have genetic ones too that I can't think of right now. But if you look it up, you'll see there's like over 100 of them. So these are the things that happen as you get older because as you get older, different genetic markers start to turn on in your body. And when they turn on, they don't always produce a positive result. Sometimes they produce things like alopecia or etc. And all of that stuff has to do with the amount of stress you live in, um, the amount of struggles you have, the personal inner crisis that may be going on because of your personal situation. So this is why when older women say to young women, you would be so much better, young girl, if you leave the fucking males alone. They don't want to listen. The first thing in their mind, like was in a lot of my daughters' minds until they had to go through shit in life, oh, my mother's trying to kill my joy. She just don't want me to be happy. I had to literally talk to one of my daughters for literally like 2 days. I had to take this girl with me somewhere where it was just me and her and thump and thump and thump the talk into her head because she was not trying to listen and trying to fuck her whole life up. And I'm like, I'm not going to allow you to do that. You need to go to school. You need to live a life. You don't need to be laying around and letting somebody fuck you to death and you ain't got no bank account. You don't got no car to drive and you got no fucking future. That is not what I gave birth to you for. So I took her and we went away for a whole weekend and I would not let this girl leave my side. And all I did was talk to her about all the fucked up things in life that happened to me, my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, my cousins. And I'm like, do you want to live like that? I have a cousin right now that is still in jail for killing her husband, for catching him fucking her daughter. I reminded her of that. I said, now, do you want to trade places with her? I said, do you remember all the shit she be telling us when she calls? Or when some of us go visit her, the shit, how she got all these fucking scars in her faces from fighting, and how she had to be hospitalized more than one time because they shanked her in the shower. Do you want to live this life? All this shit can be avoided if you make the right choices in life and you don't put these no good dudes as your focal point. And believe me, y'all, they know all this shit is gonna happen to y'all, these dudes. And they want y'all to make these decisions to be just as fucked up as them. That's the whole reason why they on here every day talking about, oh, black women don't do this. And that's why they have, first remember, it was the fucking Filipino bitches, Helga and the rest of them, right? Funny how they all got German names, right? They had that Helga chick on here calling us hyenas and shit. Now they got this real German bitch calling us names and talking about comparing herself to us when literally, when you listen to what she's saying, she had to buy that dude. And the only reason why he's there is because she's still buying him. But this is the ultimate goal for these dudes. They want to be kept bitches. You remember how they be doing that drizzle shit, right? You don't have time for that bullshit. You don't have time for that. And to end this segment, the last couple of things I'll touch on with that and then move on to some of the other parts is that when she talks about us going to the clubs and stuff like that, yeah, we like to go out. Yeah, because we're 50, because we may be 60, 60 something, we're not dead. And if you haven't noticed, because black women are getting rid of their counterparts, their partners and their husbands in there, I got rid of my husbands in my 40s, right? So some women I knew and related to me, they got rid of their husbands in their 30s. And do you know the women that got rid of their husbands earlier, they got more in life than I do? My own sister, she didn't get rid of him the traditionally way. He died of an overdose, right? He let me explain to y'all. I have a sister that lives in Kentucky and I have a mulatto niece. Her father was a white redneck from Kentucky, the ones that be in the KKK and all of that. I have told y'all this before. He liked to take smack and that shit they do in Kentucky. I'm trying to think of what it's called. It makes their fucking teeth fall out. I can't think of the name of the drug now. But you guys, when you know white junkies, they always. He also used to smoke fentanyl too, right? I don't know how he did that. That's probably why he died. But he didn't have hardly no teeth left because he was so fucking drugged out, right? So listen, he died of a massive drug overdose. He died in the house in the bathtub, right? So he died, left my sister and my niece, right? She moved on. After, she got a little insurance money, and black women understand that. Always have insurance on people in your family that are dear to you, the matriarchs, patriarchs, whoever it is in your family, so that when these people pass, it's not just about you having some money to live better after they're gone, but it's also a way to make sure that you give them a proper, respectful burial, funeral, and sending home. Like, show respect, right? So pay for the insurance so that way when these people die, if they were not able, this is how my father's father taught me, right? If they're not able in life to give you the financial things they can do in life, like they're not able to work to get it for you, they could at least pay into insurance so that when they're dead, they could be worth more to you dead than alive. I'm not saying that in a fucked up way. I'm saying that in a real economical way. So like that's what we were taught. Because like when my grandfather passed, he left insurance policies for everybody, even my kids. So this is how, I was able to have a house before I got married, etc., etc. But to get back to my sister, she had insurance on this man. It was less than 100,000, but it was a good amount of money, right? So she was able to buy. You know how they have, if you go on Habitat for Humanity, right? And for all you women that live down south in the Midwest, look into Habitat for Humanity. This is an organization that President Jimmy Carter created to help low-income Black women become first-time homeowners, right? You can look on there, and you can also look on USDA .gov, I think it is. They have houses on there too for first time home buyers that have been like either foreclosed or older houses people had on the market that nobody's buying. You go on there, they have all types of programs for first time homeowners that are low income. All right. If you buy the house as is and you get a USDA homeowners loan, you don't pay no down no blah blah blah, no down payment and no closing costs. You pay a high mortgage, but you don't have to put all that money up and after to get the house. So look into that. So that's what my sister did. She looked on both places. The Habitat for Humanity was a little bit too long for her, so she went with the USDA. She got a nice house in Kentucky, right? She was able to get like a, what they call that, like a mother daughter house. That's the way I know it. I don't know how they call it where you guys live, but she was able to live in one part of the house with my niece, and the other part she rented out. So she got a little income. Plus now she has a huge a piece of collateral, something the home she could use to levy against if she want to start a business. She could use that house as collateral. And every year you have a house, black women. The United States government gives you huge write-offs if you keep improving your home every year. So last summer, me, my sister, and my brother, we went down there to help her put the sun panels, solar panels, I think you call them, on the roof. So she had got an extra tax deduction for that. That shit was $12,000 alone by itself, y'all. You understand what I'm saying? So when I'm sitting on here really telling black women, get your life together, and I'm not insulting y'all, I'm telling y'all, go the extra mile so that you could get your own home. Stop messing with these dudes, especially these black dudes. They're not going to help you. Now, if you end up like my daughter and you get some Turkish dude or somebody else that will work with you, who is not to my liking, but she loved that motherfucker, but and you can work it out with him, you work with that person to get the things that you need in life that's going to make life good for you. That's what we're trying to tell you. I know personally, me, I don't just be coming on here to talk shit about black dudes because I could do that with my girlfriends all day. I don't need to do that publicly with y'all, right? But when I'm coming on here telling y'all, is because I'm really caring about black women, and I know I'm not stupid, that there are a lot of black women that may watch a video and live in America that don't even know how to fill out a FAFSA application to apply for college. I know this because the prevalence of ignorance and the disrespect for understanding how important education is in our communities is sometimes so high, it's crazy. And I seen it firsthand, y'all. I just, what, in June, I went to Missouri 2 times. The first time I went to Springfield, Missouri, because it was closer to Fort Leonard Wood, which is where my son was. The first time I went there, I saw black people living in actual huts. I'm not playing. Shacks or whatever you want to call them. Those houses were so fucked up, and those people look so bad, so poor, and you can hear the violence from the road. When I say hear the violence, me, I'm a funny person. Like when I drive past live animals and stuff like that, I like to slow down, listen to them, watch them. I even pull over to the side of the road just to sit and watch them. Sometimes I did that, and I could hear men screaming on women, somebody screaming as if they was being attacked, children crying. And I was just sitting in the car saying to myself, this is the shit that black women endure every day, that everybody in this country act like doesn't exist. And then you have these black women on all these TikTok channels, YouTube channels, always trying to make it seem like these black males that are so violent in the home are such a great prize, such a great catch, and it's the black women's chip on her shoulder and her attitude problem that's keeping the black family from being intact and being this great thing like a white family and a Hispanic family and everyone else, when that is a crock of bullshit. So I'm done with that part. Like, this is all the shit this young girl is not thinking about when she's making these comments. And I really think she's making these comments because, unfortunately, due to age, she actually believes in black males and thinks that they have some type of future or that she has an obligation to them because she's a young black woman. But she's going to learn in time after she's beat enough, disrespected enough, and she's done so wrong in life to the point where she has nothing to show for all of her time wasted in these relationships. That's the only time she's going to wake up. And if during that time she doesn't get an education, she might be stuck in that situation to forever live in a situation where black femicide is going to be her only way out. And we all know that shit to be true. These women that get saddled with these dudes with tons of babies, they live in impoverished places in America, whether it be New York, the South, the Northeast, the Midwest. When they don't have no outlet, no real plan of escape, like, all right, I got a cousin over here that's doing good. She can help me get on my feet. And you actually go there, respect the fact that she's trying to help you, and you help yourself and do better. There's not many black women that have that option. And that story I just told you was an example of my cousin Vinay. Vinay was born in Oregon, right? She went out to Oregon. She got about 3 children from a gangbanger, right? Y'all know how it is in the West Coast. She's living with this dude. She had people run up into her house about 4 times, try to kill her and her kids and the dude that she was with. One time she got shot, he got shot, the kids got hurt, but they didn't get shot. The last incident, he got killed. She was rushed to the hospital. We didn't think she was going to make it, but she did. And her children was completely traumatized and put into foster care. All right. A year later, after she's out the hospital, she's gone through therapy, vocational and occupational and rehab therapy. She's walking and talking again, right? This is a true story. She sits down with her mother and my grandmother, and they talk to her about her future, and they talk to her about a lot of our other cousins that were killed by black men for real. In the past, in the present. All right. She finally fucking wakes up. She goes through another year of fighting through family court to get all of her children back. They call it reunification. All of us helped her get a small 2-bedroom apartment in Milwaukee, right? Right now, Milwaukee is one of the dangerous fucking places in the world for black women to be. Black women are being killed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin every day at a higher rate than all of the black women combined in America by black femicide. She went to Milwaukee because we had other cousins there that lived there and that was doing well and who are half white. That's the key, right? They had extra money. They had extra property. She lived in an apartment there. We helped her get while she attended the midwife program in Milwaukee to become a midwife. To this day, she is a midwife. She has gotten her children back. She had gotten married to a bum ass. You know how DZ and them be talking about white powder donut dusties? She got married to one of those because that's all there is in Milwaukee, right? Because them rich white dudes, they don't be fucking with black people at all. And that's for real. So she married this white bum ass nigga that was living off of her. 3 years into the relationship, because he was depressed on Prozac and all this shit, he took a shotgun while they were watching. I don't know what the fuck was they watching on TV. I think it was like The Voice or some shit like that. And blew his motherfucking brains out in front of the whole family. This is the violence that black women live. That the whole world, and especially black males, try to normalize because they think that black women have an obligation to go through hell to live with them. And I'm here to tell black women, you know you don't. And you, whenever you see these people disrespecting you and insulting you by telling you that you must struggle and deal with niggas that hate you and are talking about you like they crazy online, and you supposed to lay down, spread your legs, and love them, you should be so insulted that you be able to spit in their fucking face. That's how insulted you should be. So I'm done with that part about that crazy girl. Last night, I saw a panel of black women and males blaming black mothers for teenage girls being in relationships with grown men. Now, all of us know Because even I had a friend in school that had a boyfriend that was in college, and we was in the fucking 8th grade. You know that ain't right. Her mother was always trying to get this dude arrested. Always going up to the school about this dude, even beating her daughter. And still, this guy, remind you, I'm saying guy because the little girl ain't fast. It ain't no child fast enough in the world to convince a grown ass man who's supposed to be a grown man to fuck a child. Okay? So this dude, regardless of all the attempts the mother was making to get this guy away from her daughter, get him arrested, the police did not care. Every time this girl ran away, the police made it seem like, oh, yeah, that's just what she does. We ain't gonna waste our time looking for her, right? Because she would do this a lot. Bottom line is, she ended up leaving the state with this dude, having kids with this dude, and spending the rest of, like, I think it was, I don't even remember when I seen this girl again, because I know I was way out of high school and in college. I think I had to be like 21. This girl had a whole bunch of kids and had a black eye when I seen her. Her mother had not seen her in years. And do you know, when I just happened to come across her, right? She wanted to find out how she could get in touch with her mother. Because apparently her mother had moved and everything. I didn't know. So the only thing I could do was like call my mother, have my mother ask her a couple of questions, try to find out what was up with her mother. I put her in touch with my mother, but when I tell you I got away from her as fast as possible, it was just something about her, because I wasn't, of course, the same person I am now back then, right? But it was just something about her presence that made me so afraid it was not funny. And I guess it was the fear of becoming her or being trapped or being like her. I just was like, here, take the number, call my mother, da da da. I already spoke to her. She'll tell you, I gotta go, I gotta go. I had to get away from her. And that's an easy story to come out of the whole conversation that they were having on that panel, where they were trying to constantly blame black mothers for these old men preying on young girls, and then trying to make it seem like the mother had all of the ability to stop the dude from stalking the daughter, sneaking off with the daughter, having sex with the daughter, controlling the daughter. They were making everything that those two individual people decided to do to be with each other the mother's fault. And as I was listening to it for like a minute or two, because I can't tolerate stupidity like that, right? So I ended up like writing, all that leads to black femicide, right? I always put black femicide in somebody's comments when I see stupid shit, right? So I wrote that and then left. But while I was there, I was thinking, but with Cherie didn't listen to her mother, and her mother was trying to keep her from that dude, and she ended up leaving and everything and going with her mother. And then after all that foul stuff was done to her, here she is desperately trying to get back in touch with her mother, who had written her off. Because you going to run away with somebody, not contact your mother, let your mother know anything that's going on with you. And now you want to go run to your mother after all the stuff is done to you that your mother was trying to avoid happening to you. So I was thinking about Cherie when I was listening to that panel last night, but then I was like, fuck that, and started flipping through again. And then I came up across a group of black women that I wish would be on TikTok all the time, because they were talking about how the ages of the women, the black women that often die from black femicide. And what popped into my mind was, you know, stupid catchphrases like young black women to black femicide pipeline, shit like that. That popped into my head, right? Because I said, it's funny how y'all need to check out these new channels on black femicide. Gritty is a good one, right? So when I was watching Gritty the other day, the last video I saw was about Sonia Messi, which was not black femicide. That she was murdered by a white cop, right? White racist cop. But right underneath her was a video of a black woman, mother, where her only daughter was killed by the child's father, So the child's father killed himself, the child's mother, the mother's two best friends, right? And he tried to kill his daughter, but one of the mother's friends was such a good friend that she literally covered her friend's daughter with her own body inside the car that the father was shooting and killing the mother and her two friends in. This woman gave up her own life to save her best friend's daughter. And then after this dude realized he had killed everybody in the car and he assumed he killed his daughter too, he killed himself. All of this in front of his mother, who was just standing there. Now, I can't say that. I can't say how the old woman should have reacted, but I know from me being military, law enforcement, etc., I would have taken a couple of those bullets to wrestle my son to the ground and or get that gun out of his hand or twist his hand back to make him shoot himself or even shoot me to stop what was happening. I know I could not have stood there and watched that shit. I couldn't because there's no amount for me because I guess I'm different. Like I'll run to fear. Like I don't have no fear like that. Like if I feel like I get angry when I think somebody's trying to hurt me, I get like an angry like, are you out of your motherfucking mind? That's the type of thing that comes over me. Like, and I run to the person like I'm a fucking cute. Like I'm just snapped a different way. And so like when I was listening to it, I was like, how could she just stand there and watch that shit? Like, even if you can't really do nothing about it, in my opinion, but my opinion is just my opinion now, right? I would not stand there and just let somebody shoot into a car where I know my granddaughter's in there, my granddaughter's mother. Like, I have a grandson. I have one grandson, that's my grandson with an outside mom, right? Because that's my youngest son's child. I love Tatiana like she is my own daughter. Me and her sometimes have a better relationship than some of my own daughters because I could tell her things that I wouldn't tell my daughters. Because I know that those girls would throw that shit back in my face like years to come. Oh, remember when you said this? Like, why are you bringing that shit up? I told you that shit in confidence. Don't fucking repeat that. So I can't fathom like just standing there and watching that shit. I would be going crazy trying to stop that shit. And I just but that was a panel I came across, and all the stories that they talked about were a lot of the stories I had seen already on Gritty, and it just makes me really further understand why, as much as Black women have a problem with coming to grips with and accepting and dealing with Black femicide, regardless of what these people are talking about us online about, we really need to get to the point where all of us are talking about Black femicide because we losing so many Black women and girls to this shit. And all because some Black dude's ego is being bruised and he feels like he's demasculated and he has a problem with the tenacity of Black women. Like even in thinking about that German woman where she was talking about she calls servitude being feminine, and I guess servitude and being a slave, right, is equivalent to what these dudes mean when they say Black women are masculine. When Black women, I want you to start pushing back against that too. When we know the definition of words, we know that women, and we are women because we are the first women. And did y'all dig my shirt? Woman, right? Adult. Y'all see it? Y'all see the definition? It says woman. Um, Now, an adult female. Y'all see it? Right? I wear this shirt proudly in New York City all the time because it's real. And it's funny how whenever I wear this shirt, it's always men that will say, not Black men, other men that will say, absolutely, absolutely. And I don't even have to have a conversation. I just go, thank you, and keep walking because it's a shame that people want to act like this definition doesn't exist. But getting back to it, right? Um, we need to really make that a focal point because we're the ones losing. And the fact that you have all of this anti-black womenness online, it only adds to the hatred for black women, and it gives people an excuse to not care about when these dudes are killing us and our girls. So as much as we as black women may think like, oh yeah, you know how you always have the crew up, it's not every black man. You have those idiots out here. Where are the black males that are sticking up for the black women and out here supporting and rallying for the end of violence towards black women and girls? Where are those guys that are supposed to be so great that are stopping the other guys from taking our little girls into prostitution and human trafficking and raping and sexually violating our children in the homes and then killing them? Where are those guys if it's not all of them? Where are they? Because I know back in my grandfather's day, you couldn't do no shit on the block because those men would come out their house and beat your motherfucking ass up and down that block. They would fuck you up and tell you, don't let me catch you on this motherfucking block again. What happened to those guys? They're all pussies now, wearing fucking dresses and doing pressing curls better than women and slaying they fucking wigs better than we can and twerking and shit better than Megan. Like, what the fuck are you? And these are the black males that black women want other women, black women to die for and to like literally forfeit their lives for. I can't subscribe to that bullshit. Let me just read a couple of comments and then I'll go to the next section, which was preference to victims preferences to victims pipeline. And I want to show you a video about that because I thought that was really funny. So Kat said everybody makes money off the negative images of black women equates equates to white supremacy. These influences discussing black women as much as treason and male worship. You are most definitely right. I can't watch most influencers because they place black women intentionally at the bottom, which mirrors society's behavior to black women. Indeed. They also put us at the bottom like that, Cat, because that is you know how they have the Freudian slip and all that type of belief? That's a level of projection, and it's another word for that. I forgot. Umar had said it the other day, and even the other day I was watching Umar, and even though I don't like his stance on black women and black male relationships, a lot of the shit that he says about the psyche of black males and the problems in the black community when he tells the truth about black femicide is 100% on, right? And he talked about how these women and these dudes, this is a thing of projection, and he used another word to talk about how the word means like they see themselves and the issues and the problems they have in themselves in what they want you to mirror and be like so they can feel comfortable with you. I gotta think about the word, but and also I saw spiritual whistleblower give an interview on some dude's channel right the other day, and she was talking about the same thing, and she had gave it a different psychology name. I'll put that one up. I'll find it again and put it up on the community channel because she spoke about a lot of things. And, because she's getting her PhD in psychology, she's really on point. I mean, a lot of people act like they don't like her because I guess she's too brash like I am. But it's like when you're a passionate woman about other black women, and you're not trying to be on here faking the funk just so you could get views and make money, and you actually want black women to understand that. For real, black women, your safety is an issue, and you in danger, girl, if you keep sitting around fucking around with these black males. They really, really fucking hate you. And it doesn't matter how many of them are faking now with all of these channels where they're pretending to critique other black males about, oh, black women do this and black women are great. That's all a fucking game. It's a gaslight because everybody is mostly on here gaslighting to make money. So once the black dudes realize that talking shit about black women don't work anymore, then they go switch to praising black women. And this is all the stuff that the passionate ones like me, we come on here and we try to say spiritual whistleblower and some of the others, like black women, just do exactly what what's that lady? I think her name is Kendall St. Charles. Y'all remember the one where she was out before Cynthia, and Cynthia stole a lot of her talking points in reference to black women, just stop in reference to the bad behaviors they have with dealing with these dudes in relationships, right? So I think it's Kendall St. Charles. I got that video up on the channel. Flip through the videos. You see me on the couch letting it play. I don't say a word. Cause the other day when YouTube stopped my functions where I can't upload videos anymore, I have to always go live. I put all the videos up that I had left from the other channel and this one. So everything I've ever done is up now. Because I'm like, okay, if you're gonna stop me from trying to talk to my black women, I'll just put everything up that I have access to that wasn't deleted with the first channel. And that's more than enough for them to listen to. But yeah, I'm gonna come to the comment in a minute, but this is really what we're out here doing and why we're saying it and why we keep coming back. It's because I'm really trying to reach black women to know that it's not me trying to kill your joy. I'm not jealous of you in any way. I actually love the fuck out of all black women, even when they nasty and do foul shit to me. Like, even the women on here, like, I actually still like Pretty Black Magic a lot, even though she tried to diss the shit out of me by making a dumbass video about me because of that Diamond Chrysalis chick who has had a problem with me since day one. And you know, it's sometimes black women are just like that. They see a black woman they don't like and they just start fucking with her from day one. I'm vocal. I ain't gonna front. I'll go on anybody's channel and tell y'all that's bullshit. You exploiting black women because it's the truth. I have said this to all of them, Tanya, everybody that has done it, and they know what I'm saying is the truth, which is why they get so fucking angry. So even when they do shit like that, still, because I have that thing about me where I'm a black woman first before my own emotional whatever. I'm still black and I'm always going to care about black women because what happens to black women happens to me. That's where I'm coming from. So I ain't got to like you, but if you make a point and I think what you're saying needs to be heard, regardless of beef we've had, regardless of me calling you a stupid bitch, whatever, I'm going to still put your shit up here and let other black women have an opportunity to take in the message because it's not about me. It's about the people I'm trying to reach. I can have a fucked up attitude all day. I'm human. I'm entitled to. And guess what? I know I don't need no black motherfucker's permission for me to have a fucked up day. I don't give a fuck about you or what you say. I'll be a bitch every day if I want to, motherfucker. You ain't gonna do shit about it. And I don't give a fuck if you portray me in that light because people who really know me and have to deal with me know better. So if you want to make me out to be something I'm not, you go for it. Because I will come right back on here and expose you for the piece of shit you are just as well. And that's what I do all the time. So, that's my stance on all this. Like, this is why us black women, the few of us that are here, and it's always the small content creators. You ever notice that? It's never the big ones with huge platforms because they too busy worrying about including white women, Hispanics, Asians, and everybody else that's going to sell us out in the end. Because y'all mark my words. When we have this election, right? Watch and see how many white women, Asian and Hispanic women, and dumbass black women vote for Donald Trump. Just because of the fact that they know black women will be fucking shut down completely if he becomes president. He's gonna gun for us because we are the only group of people within the black community who are not completely destitute and fucked up for the rest of our lives. Black males are done. They don't have no education. They don't own shit. They don't want shit. They don't do shit. They are living dead. We, on the other hand, we out here getting degrees. We becoming like the fastest growing entrepreneurial group in America, the most educated group in America. We're fucking flying past everybody else. So if you think that this white KKK motherfucker is not gonna come in office and go, get those bitches, flatten them the fuck out, put them underneath them niggas that they live around. If you don't think that that white dude is not going to come in here and do that, you are sadly mistaken. Or watch all of the bitches that help them do it, that are on Burb and Bougie's channel, Princella's channel, Shira's channel, Tanya's channel, all these big people's channels, right? Even that other girl did a video yesterday about the German bitch, Yanni, right? Even her. They on all those women's channels, right? Watch and see when they're, because they're gonna give you the numbers. Watch and see how many of them that are in our comments. Yes, girl, go girl, all that bullshit where they be thinking they speaking AAV correctly. Watch how many of them vote against us. And that's why when I tell y'all, I unapologetically come on here and say, I don't give a fuck about no other women but black women that I'm speaking to, because I'm concerned with us and what the fuck we go through. I'm not coming up on here to be a chameleon for all women. I ain't white, I ain't Hispanic, I ain't Asian. I ain't none of that. So the things that affect them do not affect me. And it's a sad fucking reality that it's not enough of us that feel the way I do. Because if they were, we would not have half the fucking problems we having today in our little black lives. Because we would all be looking out for each other instead of trying to fuck each other over. Let me see what y'all said. Saying that black women are masculine comes directly from the many negative images of black women. Yeah. It does twofold, Kat. It reinforces those stereotypes like you're saying, but the other thing that it does is that it conditions black women to actually believe that bullshit. And like I said, if black women go back to the reality of the definition, you could never be masculine, and I don't accept that on any term. The same way, if you accuse a white woman of doing something, how that bitch pretends that you're crazy, she was actually doing something else. We as black women need to take a cue from white women and start doing the same thing. You accusing me about being masculine? I doubt that. I doubt that highly. First off, I ain't a man. You see, everything on me has been naturally born feminine from the universe, God themselves. I have a vagina, a working uterus. I am a full-blown woman. I don't have no masculine attributes about me. I don't have a penis. I don't have balls. I'm not a dude. I have estrogen. Estrogen. I don't have testosterone. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. And that is exactly how you got hit motherfuckers with the facts. Because the way somebody feels about you is not a fact. That is a motherfucking subjective opinion that is based in their own personal shit. So hit them with the facts. You can never be masculine. You ain't no motherfucking tarot card reading. You are not part of the yin and the yang. You are a full-fledged person, a feminine, female, woman person. Ain't nothing about you masculine. You don't got a dick on you nowhere that comes part of your body. You ain't got a scrotum nowhere on you that comes a part of your body. Hit those motherfuckers the same way the white women do. When you catch them doing shit, like that fucking crazy lady that was on the phone saying the black man was threatening her when he was watching birds. That bitch gave a great performance. You could not tell her that what she was saying was not true. So when they hit you with the bullshit, you hit them right back with the bullshit. I beg your motherfucking pardon. There's not near a fucking mustache, sideburns, here on my chest, penis in my drawers that would make that motherfucking accusation true. You, my friend, are suffering from some form of diminished fucking capacity. You're suffering from diminished capacity. I am clearly a woman, as you can see. I would show you my fucking Sally, but that would be disrespectful. I don't have what you have, sir. So maybe you should rethink that comment. Just shut them the fuck down. Uh, People with intelligence know you cannot argue with facts. You can't argue with facts. It is a fact I am a black woman in front of you and nothing else. Yeah, let them go to hell with that bullshit. Because, guys, you got to remember, even though I refer to this, I really mean this. If you read the book, it's called something else, but it's a movie out now with a black woman on the cover. I forget that black lady's name. She's an actor. It's a Ava DuVernay movie. It's called Origin. When you watch that movie's all about race. And it shows you how white people come up with imaginary fucking stories to assign to people to make them feel inferior and lower to other people, and how they created the whole concept of race that is not real. It is just to make some people of darker skin feel inferior to people with no melanin to their skin. So these dudes are doing the same thing. They know it is physically impossible for an actual woman who has given birth, and even if she hasn't given birth, just atomically, a woman to be masculine in any way. Now you could be aggressive. Everybody could be aggressive and even assertive because that's part of your human. What do they call those things? Emotions. It's one of your emotions. The same way anger, happiness is part of your emotions. If I feel like I need to be aggressive to get something that I feel is mine, you ain't gonna stop me from getting it. And that's what they're confusing or deliberately trying to mislabel as something you could never fucking be, which is masculine. You don't have no penis between your legs. Not one. Not one. And even when they have a penis between their legs that they have split down the middle and pushed up inside of them, they're still masculine. How about that? Because they like to think when they have those sex change operations that they're a real woman now. Nope. You just an introverted dude because you can't have no babies, and that thing you got in between your legs don't work like mine's. It don't have none of the life pumping through it. It don't have none of the muscles connected to it the way mine's does. It can't open and close like mine's does. Yours, I believe they have to have something stuck inside that just to keep it open, because if not, it'll close up completely. So I'm telling you these things to explain to you, like, embedded in your head. Let go of all these narratives that they try to label us with, because this is a way of trying to dehumanize you and to knock you down a peg. And when you got to understand, when you have such low self-esteem, right, as a group of women, you will accept everything and anything from everybody, which is where they want you to be. Because right now, black women have the most money in the black community, the most homes, the most cars, the most education, the most freedom, right? The majority of these black males, you see them bumming on somebody, living in the street, just coming out of jail, just going to jail, never graduating from school, not having nothing. That's the majority of them. So, of course, it benefits them to try to make you believe, to brainwash you to think that you are something you're not. Because when you think that low of yourself, you'll feel like, oh, I don't deserve shit in life. Why not let people abuse me and treat me like I ain't shit? Because I really ain't shit. Because they've been telling me I ain't shit. That's the bullshit you gotta let go of. Because that ain't true. When you got motherfuckers on the other side of the world, whoever that German bitch was, and even them Filipino bitches that was doing it before her, who have probably never met a real American black woman in their life. If you renting space in they motherfucking head like you a tenant in their shit, you know full fucking well you are literally the shit. Because you got niggas over here, these black dudes, that can't live a fucking day without uttering your name, worrying about what you doing with your body parts, how much makeup you wearing, what you do with your hair, how you wear it, how you talk, what you doing with other men. You are really that motherfucker, and you really need to understand that. They lose their fucking mind when they have no access to you. That's the reason why. Did y'all see the other day? And I think the Dollar Tree, the black lady was a cashier. She was new at her job, right? She was trying to get ice out the machine, and the black dude came in the store deliberately with steel tip boots, steel toe boots. Picked a fight with the black lady, knocked her down, and started kicking her in her body, in her head, trying to kill that lady. That lady has seizures. Thank God she didn't die or have a seizure that would stroke her brain to death. But let me tell y'all something about people kicking y'all. Because I have told you black women before, and I want y'all to burn this shit into your head and make it a part of your soul. You don't stand there or lay there and let not near a motherfucker hurt you. I don't care if he knock you down. I don't care if he kick you. He get off one kick. You take that motherfucking leg, and as soon as he kick it, you on the ground. You grab it and you pull it all the way across your motherfucking body as hard and as strong as you can. Do you know what that's gonna do? That's gonna cause that motherfucker to fall backwards. Hopefully on the back of his head. If you get up fast enough and he is still down on that ground, crawl, run, whatever the fuck you gotta do to the throat and the neck area. Grab that motherfucker by his throat, squeeze deep into that fucking windpipe. You see this piece right here? That sinks in? Put all your fucking nails and hands and that all in there. Go through the fucking skin. Go to the back of that motherfucker and squeeze it till it fucking crushes. You hear me? Break that motherfucker in half so that nigga lay right there and die in his own motherfucking blood curdling in his throat. Do you hear me? Grab that fucking leg, pull it across your body as hard as you can. I swear to God, take every ounce of your might, strength, and everything. Just grab it with both hands and pull it across your body until you hear that motherfucker hit the floor. Boom! Then you scramble out from under there, get to that throat, stick your fucking fingers deep in there, right here. Like, hold your head up. Go from, listen to me now, go from where, see the ears on both sides? Stretch your hands right there. Bring it all the way down till you get right here, right above the collarbone, right? That's the windpipe. Stick your fucking fingers all the way in there around that shit and squeeze like this till you hear that shit go and then let go. And then leave that motherfucker there dying in his own blood. That's why I tell y'all to learn to fight. Learn to fight. A motherfucker got one time to throw a blow or a kick, and then you kill that motherfucker right where he fucking stands. I'm telling you. If y'all would get in the top, take one more, take a mic. All you gotta do is take a MMA class, Muay Thai, any hand-to-hand physical combat where it's a lot of wrestling on the ground and fucking niggas up when they hit the ground. You will destroy any nigga. It doesn't matter how big or strong they are because you use their anatomy to kill them, not strength. What I just told you is something that we really do in fighting. When you get down, when somebody knocks you down and you kind of disorientated or whatever the case, you understand you just got kicked. Even if you half groggy, you know the second kick or blow is coming. Grab that shit. Pull it across your body because it will throw the motherfucker off balance. Soon as he hit that ground, I don't give a fuck how much coherence you have. Shake that shit, get on him, and rip that motherfucker right out his throat. Everybody has one of them in the front of their throat. I don't give a fuck if your neck is this big or this big. They got it. And all it takes is for you to put your fingers in there and squeeze that motherfucker and watch that nigga die right in front of you. Stop playing with these motherfuckers. I'm telling you. And this is why I always tell y'all, go learn to fight. Simple shit like what I just told you right now will make you the deadliest fucking woman walking around. Oh, you want to fight, nigga? Okay, let's fight. Throw your blow. I'ma just duck and I'ma come into that body and I'ma fuck you up. They not expecting that because they think everybody out here is the same. Everybody's gonna get hit, and fall on the floor. Not all of us. A lot of us got something for that ass. Got something for that ass, and y'all need to become those black women. I wish I was there with that lady. I swear to God. Oh my God. I would have cranium slammed that nigga to the ground so fast, it would have scared everybody around. I swear I would have grabbed him right from behind. Boom, right to the fucking concrete. And then kept crashing his motherfucking head into the cement. I would have bloodied that whole motherfucking store with his brains. See, and that's the other thing I'm going to tell y'all about fighting. You see how crazy I just got for the moment? Excuse me. But when you really have to fight in a dojo, right? And you understand that a motherfucker's really going to hit you. You learn that pain is temporary and it ain't no real big fucking deal, right? And if you could block that shit or you could get that nigga before he gets you, it makes fighting adrenalating. As crazy as that sounds, it feels good to fuck people up who are way bigger than you, that think they gonna always beat your ass. It feels so fucking good. It really does. I'm trying to tell you. And y'all know I've been through it, because I had one sparring, and the guy sucker punched me when I wasn't looking, and I fell the wrong way. Remember when I fucked up my shoulder? Y'all remember that? And I had to have the surgery on my shoulder to fix the tendon. I was out for a while, because when they go, whenever they cut you, you always gotta, the repair is always longer than the injury, right? So I fixed my shoulder up. You better believe when I went back in there, I went to that nigga. I was like, "Let's go, son, let's go," because I was going to get best that motherfucker again, and I got his ass. And I'm trying to tell you, y'all be sleeping on yourselves, because I know a lot of y'all got a real fucking warrior inside of you that is just dying to come out, and y'all just be sitting here wasting days by not tapping into your fucking potential. And believe me, I'm not just saying that because I like that shit, but before this, I was like y'all too. Very unsure of myself when it comes to like standing toe to toe with a nigga or whatever. Like, but when you understand that I'm not just coming here with no skills, I'm not coming with the knowledge of knowing how to fuck you up. It's a whole different level. It puts a different level of courage in your chest. You don't, not to say you go out looking for shit, but you mad confident because you know that I know what to do. I know what to do, and I know they don't expect me to know it. Let me read what y'all wrote. I'm glad you know I'm serious, because I am serious, Cat. I be serious about black women. I really do. I don't be playing. And I try to share as much information with y'all as possible, even in just telling y'all all that crazy shit I did. But it's real, because you never know when you somewhere and people think they're going to try to get the best of you. It just is what it is. She said, "We hear you. Black women need to start fighting back for real. Better to be judged." But it's true. Even with saying that, it is so true, because when I just heard the story, right? Damn, the sun completely gone now. It was beautiful a minute ago. But when I heard the story, right, and Pretty Black Magic, I was listening to her tell the story, because you know how they she came up on the For You, right? So I just was watching it, and I was listening to her, and I said, "What?" When they said, they was telling the story from the reporter side, he was like, "No one helped." I'm like, all those people in that store, no people in the store helped, no co-workers, no manager. I said, "What the fuck?" That speaks to a level of not just anti-black women, but it speaks to fear. Like, y'all letting these niggas scare y'all when they ain't nothing to be afraid of. I'm trying to tell you, even if you don't know how to fight, even if you carry around a little 6-inch blade, the first fucking time a motherfucker swing on you, all right, son, give me that arm. I'm gonna wrap that shit up. I'm gonna take that knife and I'm gonna chop your fucking arm up. Black women, grab that arm, take that knife, and puncture all the muscle in that arm. You could poke it all the way down, you will disable the arm. If you want to get real grisly with it, rip the whole fucking knife down the whole arm to the wrist. That fucking arm will be dangling right there on his body. And then you could take your time and make a decision of whether you want to kill this nigga or let him live to think about it for the rest of his life. Me, a crazy bitch like me, I probably would just take that shit right to his throat. Just like that. I mean, I'll be in jail for the rest of my life, of course. But it's just like, I'm not fucking wild with it. Because I feel like, how dare you? You fucking think you're gonna, are you out your fucking mind? And I don't even, that's another thing. Like, don't argue with motherfuckers. Just get ready. Get prepared and get ready. Stop arguing. In martial arts, they teach us observe your opponent, right? You look them up head to toe before it starts. If you get a chance, you look for the weaknesses on their body. People will show them to you. It's either in how they stand, one part of their body may be tilted more than the other, or one hand may be up, like a shoulder may be higher than the other. They may walk weird when they walk on their heels, put more pressure on the front of their feet. All that shit tells you something about a person. It tells you where their weakness is and how you can knock them off their balance. This is all the shit you gotta learn when you go to martial arts. It's like it teaches you how to destroy a person. Because if you watch the person, you will learn, all right, he's gonna swing. What's the strong side? I see it. What's the weak side? I see it. Where's the weakness in his retract? I see it. I'm going for it. That's what it teaches you. It teaches you all of that. It teaches you how fast is this motherfucker's reaction. All right, what's the hand and eye? It all of that. Even though I'm saying it to you now, but when you thinking it, you don't think it like I'm saying it. You look for it like I got it. Da 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 da. I'm going. And then when you go, you're gonna go for the thing that he has not prepared for, and you're gonna fuck him up. That's why you need to be in martial arts. I'm trying to tell you. And you could be 5'1", 4'9", and be deadly as a motherfucker. Y'all need to take my advice. September, I already enrolled in another class. I want to take another class. I keep telling y'all I have a thing for knives, right? So I want to really learn how to do the katana sword like crazy. I have a thing about Japanese shoguns. Don't ask me why. I guess I watched too many like shows when I was a kid or whatever. But I probably want to be a shogun. I'm fucking crazy. I love swords, and them katana swords are they're crazy. I just love them. The fact that they could actually slice a person's fucking arm off with one hit is crazy to me. I fucking love it. You know, a machete could do the same thing, but it's just I'm being crazy now. But I love shit like that. I just love like minimalist fighting, I call it, and I love that with people who think they fucking tough guys. I just love that shit. And that's what I'm telling you, black women. Y'all gotta remember that. Fuck all the bullshit. Somebody knock you down and they go to kick, they gonna always do it. That's where that saying goes. Kick a person when they down. Or it's automatic a motherfucker's gonna do it. Grab that motherfucker, pull it all the way across your body with as much force as you can. They're gonna hit the ground because you need two legs to stand. And when they do, get that windpipe. That's it. That's it. That's it. They could punch, they could grab. It don't matter. Crouch down inside of them. Bring your face on top of theirs. Put your face by their ear. They can do what they want. Get in there and pull that motherfucker like literally through their skin. They will never get up off that ground again. And you ain't have to do no whole lot of punching. You ain't do no whole lot of nothing. All you did was a whole lot of squeezing on a very vulnerable fucking area of the human body. Got that? It's real. And when niggas be grabbing you on your neck and all that shit, you take one arm and you see this elbow you got, you raise that shit up over the hold on your throat and you go over and swipe it off. And both those fucking hands will come off you. And then if they still fighting you, you go down and up with an elbow right into the face. And if you fancy with it like I do, swing around with both elbows, you get clap clap, two in the face. It's real. This is all the shit you learn from martial arts. Because they like to try to grab you up because they think they strong. But when you work your elbows and you little and you work the fact that you nimble quick and bones hurt, you'll fuck a person up. You'll fuck a person up. I'm trying to tell you. And a spinning elbow is very serious. It can literally knock somebody out if you hit them hard enough. As well as a flying knee kick works too. That works as well. It's a lot of shit to learn. Or you could throw a massive, like, they call it a hammer punch right to the throat when people running at you. Bow! And then watch them drop. Or at least, if you don't hit them hard enough, they will at least choke up. And then you could hit them in the abdomen. It'll cause more choking. And then you could go to those temples with an elbow, a knee, a pipe, whatever the fuck you got. This is why you learn martial arts. Because it will show you how to make a person and then you just keep all on and it's like, okay, now what, motherfucker? You was tough a minute ago, right, nigga? What happened? Did I knock the wind out your motherfucking ass? I'm trying to tell you. Military, they teach women that. Law enforcement, they teach women that. The dojo, they teach women that. Black women, y'all need to be taught that. And I guarantee you, all this black femicide would go whoop, boop, just like that. Because right now, people just sitting around getting their ass kicked. Ain't nobody trying to fight. Nope, they not. They have no heart because they've been listening to women on YouTube and TikTok for how long, telling women, "Oh, you can't physically beat no man. I don't care who's telling you." Clearly, these are women that have never been to international fighting tournaments. There are little girls that can whip grown men's asses. They are that good in the fighting skill and style that they have. It's not a joke. I'm not just talking to be, I'm telling you the fucking truth. But that's up to y'all. But getting back to my topic, because whenever I start talking about fighting, I'll be going crazy. I should do, no, they're not going to let me bring the camera in there. I was going to say I would show, but they're not going to let me do that. They're not. But, yeah, I'm starting a new course. So I'm happy. And it's not just because I'm crazy. I like to do this because remember I told you earlier I like to stay fit and healthy. Because as a woman, when you get older, right? I don't know if people actually told you this, but there's a thing your body goes through naturally called muscle atrophy. It's like it's not a total breakdown on the muscle, but you lose muscle density every year. Everybody, men and women, not just women. Like it starts at 50. So like every year after that, if you don't keep working on the muscle, like lifting weights, working out, calisthenics, yoga, I do all of that, right? Because believe it or not, yoga is just as equivalent to like weightlifting, low level weightlifting, because you using your own body weight to define the tone of your muscles. Like, and it's a few good black women on YouTube. There's this lady I watch like almost every day called Brown Yoga Girl. That lady is no shit. No. One day she had me hurting so bad, I was just laying on the floor in the living room like, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I'm like, because, a lot of that shit is like handstands and all types of press moves, which is good because all that shit builds upper body strength, right? And as a woman, you need that, not just for fighting, just in general. Like sometimes you might have to pick up some heavy shit. You need some upper body strength or whatever. Whatever. You always need upper body strength. It's just good to have that shit. I mean, everybody could throw a kick. That's nothing. But in order for you to maintain your body, you need that. Like, you need to be doing pull ups, dips, all that shit. You need to be doing all of that. All of that makes your body like rock hard. And that's the best thing about the military because they don't give a fuck if you're a woman or not. When we do exercise, we get fucked up just like the dudes. Just like they don't cut us no fucking slack. They like, I said 50 push-ups. Get your fucking ass down there and give me 50 push-ups. You will be there all fucking day, but you're going to give them 50 push-ups. How about that? You're going to give it to them. And believe me, you get strong because the way it works in the military is when one dumbass fucks it up for everybody got to do the shit for the one dumbass. That had happened to me. Oh, God. One day, this is years ago because I went into the military right after high school, right? But when I was in there, it was this dude that always was talking shit back. This dude had us running hard so long. One day, I literally passed out running. I just could not take another step and was like, oh, fell out. They have people like that. So, the point of the story is do not have these preconceived notions that you can't make yourself a lean, clean killing machine because that's what they say in the military, and it's real true. People got this perception that you got to be all muscle bound to be strong. Think about it. Military mindset is like you in battle. You got to be thin, strong, and fit so that if you got to run through fucking bullets flying or you got to run and squeeze through some shit, get in some shit, get underneath some shit, you got to be able to do that shit. You can't be no big, bulky, stupid looking motherfucker because you ain't gonna you gonna be a target running across the fucking field. So it's like That's why women, it's like literally perfect for us in a way, because we can fit in almost anything. And once we get really fit, we get all the muscles the dudes get. We get big ass legs, backs, arms, all that shit. So that when it comes to like, you gotta block something, you gotta throw something, you gotta catch something, you are just as fucking adequate. Just as adequate. Y'all need to pay attention to stuff like that. Just today, just for out of curiosity, go on YouTube and watch some of the women's fighting competitions and watch and see what the fuck women can do when they're taught to do it correctly. Like there's some women that specialize in like acrobatic fighting, which is like they don't stand in front of a dude and square up. They'll grab his arm, run up his back, slice his fucking throat. Or they'll run up his back, jump on his neck, and flip his ass to the ground. There's all types of shit like that. There's all, it depends on you. Are you flexible enough to do that shit? You got enough impact absorption for that? Like, are you mentally fit for that? Some people can, some people can't. There's all types of fighting styles, and that's why I say, as women, sometimes you have the best advantage because you're smaller. You could get up into the body, and if you're a knife person, you could jab up organs real quick, slice throats, do all types of stuff faster than you would ever believe. The person probably wouldn't be able to get off but two blows. That ain't gonna do shit to you. You shake that shit off and keep moving. I'm trying to tell you, y'all need to go just for kicks. Go, fuck it. Um, the first time I took this shit seriously, I went on Groupon, right? I said, let me see. I'm gonna just go. Let me try it. I went on Groupon. I took a kickboxing class and a Muay Thai class within the same week. I had so much fun. I never stopped going back to the Muay Thai. Now I'm gonna try something else. Cause it's like you live in life. Why not learn whatever the fuck you want to learn and live life how you want to learn it? I could say like I could walk comfortably anywhere I know because I know I can handle myself. I don't. I'm not saying I'm invincible because nobody is, but I know I can handle myself wherever I go. I'm not gonna stand there and cry. That's for damn sure. But so back to the topic. Well, wait. Let me see. We got another comment. Yeah. So that's basically what I mean when I say we need to take the internet back. Like right now, it's being overrun with black women bashing, just anti women hate speech, 24 hours a day, and it's because black women are allowing it. A lot of us are actually out here thinking that if I'm nice enough to these dudes, they will one day love me or one day treat me right. That's never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. Like every time they pass you or they even see you, you could see the scowl on their face. You can see the hate in their disposition. They always are fixated, obsessed with you. And I'm telling you seriously, like every morning when I walk my dogs, there is not one morning I walk the dogs and somebody does not have something to say, staring. Like they're always worrying about what I'm doing. And when I look around, because I observe my surroundings, right? They don't do it to any other women. They always be worrying. And there's other people too, always so worried about what we're doing. And that's because in a way, with all of this black women bashing and black women hate speech online, it gives people this type of position where they feel like they have a right to do whatever they want to do to you until they come across that person that is gonna fucking hurt them. And then it's like then they want to retract and oh no. But it could all stop if we just, like I said, there's three things to do. Either you're gonna unsubscribe and flag their ass down, stop paying them, don't give them no cash apps, none of that type of shit. Don't give them no money in any way, right? And then boycott their ass. What are they gonna do then? They either gonna do one or two things: double down and go twice as fucking hard being ignorant, or they gonna change. Like the majority of you notice, the majority of them are changing now. I seen more than enough dudes on TikTok with the trying to chastise black dudes by how they treat and talk about black women lately. They even got this dude out. he's a weird looking dude, and he calls himself the public defender or some shit like that. Whatever the fuck he is. Is that my son? I think so. I don't know what he calls himself, but he's always on here having panels where he's tearing down black dudes. Yeah, I think that is Latif. Is that Latif? No, no, that walk is crazy. That's not him. Mm-mm. Yeah, so it's like, um, man, I see him out here trying to like, they're trying to do damage control because what it is, y'all, is that black women are not fucking with them. They're really not. I don't care how many panels is on TikToks, maybe where they are, but I know for like New York and the Northeast, we ain't fucking with them. As a matter of fact, like most women in like Philly and shit like that, in Philadelphia, they not fucking with them at all. New York, Philadelphia, Jersey, Connecticut, nah. They stuck with those women that like pick me women and stuff like that. But the women that's going, how you guys, the male identified women, the ones that be walking around looking crazy, and you can see it in their eyes. They got no self esteem. They got no aspirations for the future. I seen some. I walked past a couple of them here yesterday. Where was I going? On the way to the mall, and I was walking, and I got a habit like when I stop to do something, I never. I told y'all before, never give your back to people. People could choke you out or stab you in your neck, hit you in the back of your head, and kill you instantaneously. Never give your back to people, right? So I have this thing where I never turn my back on people. So even if I'm walking real close to people and shit like that, I will pull my. I told y'all this before. I pull myself out the crowd, and I go in a protective stance because I'm not letting you do nothing to me at no fucking time as long as I'm aware of it and I can do something about it. Now, if you get the best of me, you sneak me, that's a different story. But coming up on me and I see you, man, you better get the fuck out of here with that. But so anyway, I turned to protect my back and I was just looking at everybody and just waiting for them to pass. And I noticed that the only person that realized what I was doing was the black dude. And I had said to myself, so I focused on him. And so I said to myself in my head, I said, yeah, nigga, you would realize the defensive stand because your ass is out here targeting women. I said, because only a nigga that's out here preying on women would realize and recognize a woman that's getting in the stands to fucking do something to you if you try it. So only you would recognize that. How they say real recognize real or whatever, but it ain't that. It's a person who's praying or looking for some people to be vulnerable, they realize when other people are looking at them for the potential fucking violence or chaos or anything they bring. And I'm telling you, I was scrutinizing everybody in that crowd. I just backed up, and I do it all the time. I do it so much to that when people are walking with me, friends, family, associates, coworkers, they get annoyed with me. Why are you always doing that? I said, because the day you get hit in the head with a motherfucking mullet, a bat, a knife, or whatever, a pipe, you're gonna thank me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Well, maybe I said that wrong. Not thank me, but you'll remember that I told you like you supposed to fucking watch out, never give your back to people, because they will fucking take it and take your opportunities from you to fucking breathe and live. I tell y'all all the time, it only takes like how long? I forget the seconds all the time, but it's less than 10 seconds to choke somebody out completely. If you hold them tight enough and look, let me peep, let me wise you black women up. This artery right here, right? It leads directly from your heart on the left side of your body. This is the good part. This is the oxygenated, good blood carrying part of your body. Everything that comes from your heart out is all the shit you need to survive. This side of the body, the right side, has all the junk, all the pollutants, all the poisonings that are traveling back around to the right side to be filtered and cleaned and sent back around good, right? All right. When most people grab you, because most people either know it from fighting, trained to fight, but the reason they teach you to go on the left side and press on that artery, right? They press against it to make the blood flow stop. You understand how close your neck is to your brain, right? And blood moves very, very fast in your body. So that's why it's almost less than 10 seconds If they press on your neck hard enough, directly where they should, and you're not able to come put your, the way you usually come out of headlocks and shit like that is you take your chin to your chest, and then you turn into the cuff of the person's arm, and you could either put it above your head, or you could turn and try to bring yourself out of it, like turn into the hold and pull yourself back out of it, if you can. If you cannot, the second thing is to always have a knife on you, where you rip that motherfucking arm off your body with the knife. You take the knife and you stab it into the arm as closest to the bone as possible and rip out. What you will do then is you will be ripping the muscle from the bone. So when people do not have muscles attached to their bones, they cannot squeeze, they cannot control their arm, they cannot move it. The arm will fucking drop and it will become disabled. All this you learn in fighting, which is why you need to take your ass to a fighting class, okay? They will explain to you. And this is why you, as women, you should always have a knife on your body, no matter what. Even if it's, remember I told y'all a long time ago, even if it is those Japanese pins that go in your head, or those French pins that look like a long U. If you, whenever I travel, I wear them shits in my hair. I wear them in my hair because I can't carry a blade on the plane, right? So I carry those crazy sharpened pins in my head. Wop, 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 wop. You out of here. And I tell y'all this all the time, and y'all don't be listening to me because y'all think I'm just some crazy black woman talking shit online. But if y'all have only known the life I have lived, you would understand. Being a woman, being a cop, being a parole officer, being in the military, men do not take it easy on you. They don't see you and go, oh, she's cute, or oh, she's just a woman, don't do that. They go hard the same way they would do a dude. And learning how to fight helped a lot of that. Learning how to shoot helped a lot of that. Learning how to stab people helped a lot of that. Learning how to use my takedown methods helped a lot of that. Because when you come in to lock somebody up, they don't give a fuck if you're a woman. They do not give a fuck. And we already know how parolees act, okay? And one of the girls that came out with me in the very first week of us hitting the streets after the academy training, she got shot dead, point blank in her head, because she did not follow the rules that she was given to deal with these dudes. And so it's not a joke. Nothing I'm telling you is a joke. Nothing. Nothing I'm telling you. If that's real, that's fucked up. I don't know if that's real. If you actually saw him say that, Lucy, that Biden dropped out, or is that you just trying to change the conversation? But anyway, if he did, okay. So now let's just talk about that for a brief minute, then I'm gonna get off of that. If he did drop out, that means that black women, you really better gear up and get ready for a hard way to go and become as violent as possible, because if he dropped out, you live in a racist country, right? So that means that all the white people, all the Hispanic people that want to be white, that hate black people, all the other people. Okay, I'll check again later. But for right now, even if it's true, it doesn't mean anything. But I'm getting back to what I'm saying, right? So now, if that is true, every racial group that you know of that hates black people are going to vote for Trump. And the reason they're going to do that is because they hate black people, so they're going to see Kamala Harris, who is an Asian black woman, as a real black woman when she's not. Just because she has a portion of black in her, they believe the ignorant shit that white people has taught people that is not true. Just because you have one drop of black blood in you does not make you black. It does not. If your mother is not a black woman who pushed you out into this world, you are not a black person. It does not matter. It does not matter if your father is black. You are whatever your mother is with a black father. You're not a black woman unless a black woman literally had you. So, because they go along with what black people, white people say, They're not going to vote for Kamala Harris, even though she's been doing the job as a vice president for almost 3.5 years now. They will go with the white man because remember, they have been colonized and brainwashed to believe that white is right. We must follow everything white people say, and if they hate black people and want white people to have white supremacy and be in control of everything, we will follow. This is how these people think. So, and they're gonna fuck themselves up the same way they did when they voted for DeSantis in Florida. But they don't know it yet until it happens to them, because they always think that white people will only do the harmful stuff to black people, and they don't realize that they see them as black too. So anyway, they won't vote for her. She will come into presidency just by default. Well, she's supposed to because of law, right? Because as soon anything happens to the president, the vice president is supposed to immediately step up, unless they have some special fucking meeting and the delegates decide they don't want her, they want a white man. And as soon as they do that, you should already know all hope is lost. Because if this country goes along with them not putting the black woman in as their immediate, the Asian black woman immediately as the president, the way the law goes, and they pick a white dude, they're gonna vote that other nigger in for office, and all of us are gonna lose our rights. Women will have no rights at all. You're going to lose all abortion rights. You're going to lose all rights to contraceptive. You're going to lose the right to go to school. Black women are going to lose the right to vote. And if black women lose their right to vote, we might as well go kill ourselves, because we're going to revert back to slavery. Because the only way you have freedom in a country is to be able to exercise your right to vote. And once they take it away from you, how do you have any impact on the laws that affect you? Do you not understand what I mean? So a lot of us are going to be getting killed, and a lot of us are going to be dying and going to jail for life, because the first person that tries to get strong on me, I'm going to send them to death, and then I'm going to be heading to prison. And that's going to be the future for a lot of us. And then don't forget, if Trump becomes president, all police officers will get immunity. So that means that more of the stuff that happened to Sonia Massey the other day will happen to everybody, and more of us, because they don't like us off the jump. So every time they encounter one of us, the first time we say something or don't do exactly what we're told, that we're going to get shot. And so will black males. They won't be exempt. But you do understand what I'm saying, right? Yeah, white is not right, but that is what they believe. White is definitely not right. White people are the most diabolical, despicable, disgusting fucking human beings in the face of the earth. When you just think about the fact that anti-blackness comes from the advocacy and the approval of the brutality and savagery of slavery, that right there should be enough to blow your head up, because people are literally telling you the reason we are anti-black is because we agree with all of those horrible things you did to black people. We agree with the fact that you think that black people are less than human, and that we as other people who are not black should be able to kill them and do whatever we want to them just because we are not black. So no, white is never right. That's just the way they think. White is definitely wrong all ways about it, because when you look at the history of their impact of colonization all over the world, it has brought death, devastation, and destruction. So how could any of those three horrible things be right? But because these idiotic people have been brainwashed into thinking that it is about how you look and not about what these fucking devils have done, they don't see it any other way, because they're fucking stupid. Look at Hispanic people as a group collectively. Do you see all the horrific shit DeSantis and that Texas governor have done to them? And I still see Hispanic people in New York City with vote for Trump signs after they went through that whole thing of separating all those families from their children and doing all those nasty things to children when they were in those Guantanamo camps, and sending the mothers and fathers back to Spanish countries they weren't even from, just doing them horribly, torturing them, killing them. Like, these dumbass people don't reflect on that, because they're so in a headlock or chokehold over hating black people, that they think that white people are going to spare them. White people can't stand them. They hate them worse than us. And they believe me, if that motherfucker becomes president, all these people are gonna find out. And we gonna find out too, but believe me, they gonna do them way dirtier than us because they can't deport us. What they doing to us? The only thing they can do to us is kill us or put us in jail. That's all. We gonna still be here. What are they? They gonna kick them the fuck out of here and fuck them up along the way. And they're gonna make it hard for them to bring their asses back here or be killing them if they ever try to come back. Like people try to pretend like America is some nice fuzzy place when nah, this is the home of fucking savage murderers. You wanna fuck around with them and find out, you keep going on the route you going and doing the shit you doing. Everybody's best bet is, especially black women, is if this old dude did drop out, which I doubt he did, because he said he's gonna stay into November because it's not that far away, right? Which would make sense. But let's say he did actually drop out, because you know newspapers lie, right? Then every black woman, every other woman that wants to keep her right to vote and wants to keep her right for reproduction rights and the access to birth control and just to have rights, period, you should vote for Kamala Harris. Even if you don't like her, you have to vote for all of what she represents behind us. Because believe me, if you put that fucking Klansman in office, you are going to find out just how fucking grimy America can truly be. And they're going to be coming for you on day one because that nigga said it out of his own mouth. He said, I'm going to come in there and I'm going to revenge everything. I'm going to be a tyrant. And white people going to be back on top again. And everybody else is going to look it up. I think, who had the clip? I think it was Politics by Tabitha. He literally said, white people going to be back where they supposed to be. And the slaves will become slaves again. And everybody else is going to be where they need to be. That's literally what he said. So if y'all want to live like that, I guess it's going to get fucked up out here for us, and only the strong will really survive. But I can guarantee you, everybody that is an immigrant or migrant, your ass is going to get got first. Believe that shit, because he done already told you he coming for you first. Black people going to be second, but that's what's going to happen. So y'all do what y'all feel y'all need to do, because I have seen way too many ignorant black people on here rallying for Republicans, and they clearly tell you they don't like black people, they don't like Jews, they Hispanics, they don't like no fucking rich white people, but y'all steady voting. I don't believe it. I believe that he's gonna do like he said. It's only October, and if he did do that, that would be like giving this dude the presidency on a silver platter, because the majority of people are not gonna like her just because she's a woman and she's not white. And so they won't vote for her based on the fact that she's not white, she's a woman, and they feel like, this is how they're indoctrinated. They feel like only white males should be the president. That's how stupid they are.